Okay, let's take this there and put it to a graph, but we'll also look at not just finding its vertex to help us with the sketch, we'll also try and get more exact with our x-intercepts as well. So let's go back to the completing the square. So on this one, here's our problem we're going to do. So let's start out by moving that 8 over to the left side again. Like always, our constants get separated. So we'll go plus 8 this time. Leaves us with this. Now on the right side this time, the only thing to pull out is a lead coefficient of -1. So that leaves us with x squared minus 6x plus something squared. Now even though it's still a 1, it's a -1, so we're going to have to pull that -1 times something squared over to the left side, balance our equation as well. So we're going to get plus 8 minus 1 times something squared this time. Again, we're going to take half of this. This time it's going to be a -3. So we're going to put that on both sides. And again, left side is the easy side. We just simplify. -3 squared is 9 times 1 is 9. 8 minus 9 is -1. So we get f of x minus 1. On this side, we keep the -1 as our lead coefficient. Again, the shortcut, the two squares become a single square. And in this case, the two squares were x and -3. And we just add the 1 back to the right side. Now again, this is going to tell us more than a few things. Our vertex, remember, is going to come from the hk. So the h value here, the k value here. So on this one, our vertex is just going to be at 3, 1. So we can go over and plot that point. 1, 2, 3 to the right, 1 up. So there's our vertex. Now, because the a value here is -1, the negative says it's going to open downward. So we know that we're going to have a little bit of a cusp here. Now, the other thing that we can do to make this a little more exact is we'll find our x-intercepts. So on this one thing we can do is factor this out. So we'll probably take this back to our starting spot up here and just divide that out. So let's do some factoring here. So we'll do f of x equals, and we're going to factor out a -1, which is going to leave us with x squared minus 6x plus 8. So in this case, it actually works out fairly nice as just x minus 2 and x minus 4. So if we set each of those equal to 0, once we divide this out, we're going to get 0 equals -1 times x minus 2 times x minus 4. So if I divide out -1, I'm just going to be left with x minus 2 equals 0, x minus 4 equals 0, and then I can simplify to get x equals 2, x equals 4. So that means that 2, 0 and 4, 0 are my x-intercepts. So I can go 2, 0, put my point, 4, 0, put my point, and that gives me enough to at least get a reasonable sketch for this particular problem. So as we set this one up, we can take this up here and down, and away we go. And again, the more we do this, the more exact we'll be asked to get this, but for the time being, it gives us a pretty good idea of where our sketch would be. Now again, those x-intercepts are also split on both sides, but they might ask us to take this and go, all right, let's take care of the graphing and turn this around, and let's find an equation if they give us some values to solve here. So let's clean this up here, and let's go with this. They're going to give us 2 points on this one. They're going to give us the vertex of 1, 2. They're also going to give us a random point that just happens to fall somewhere on the parabola, and that point's going to be at 3, -6. So here's our vertex. Here's another point on there. what they want us to do is, using that information, we're supposed to put this into our standard form of f of x equals a times x minus h squared plus k. So let's go through a couple things again here. Our vertex, there's our h, and there's our k. And since this is just some random point, that's going to give us our x and our y, or our f of x. So x and f of x. So let's plug everything in, and it should leave us with everything filled in other than our a value, which is what we're going to find. So f of x, or y, is negative 6. The a value we don't know yet. X is coming from the point at 3. Since h is 1, we're going to have minus 1 squared, and the k is 2, so plus 2. So now we just do some simple algebra. So we get negative 6 equals 3 minus 1 is 2, 2 squared is 4, so we get 4a plus 2. Subtract 2 to get negative 8 equals 4a, and then divide both sides by 4 to get a equals negative 2. So now we just take it into our final form where we have h, k, and a all filled in, and we get f of x equals, there's our a value, and then x minus 1, that's our h, squared, plus 2, which was our k. So this would be the equation of the parabola in standard form that has a vertex at 1, 2, and goes through the point 3, negative 6.